So for our tour, we are going to hop back over to a fresh install of WordPress so we can see just what the basic components of WordPress are without any of the additional menus that will be there from some of our plugins we have installed on our other site. So first we come to the dashboard. This is where you will be logged in, and I want to point out just a few things first off. This dashboard can be customized, and some plugins offer you different modules or windows here you can add, and these can be dragged around to however you like, or this can just be ignored altogether. You can move these around, you can collapse them, and you can remove them altogether. On many of the dashboard pages, the different settings here, at the top are screen options. If you click on screen options, it will show what things can be turned on and off on the specific page you are looking at. There's also a help tab you can click, which will link you to some resources that the WordPress software developers provide. So right under the home page is updates. Anytime you have an update for either the WordPress software itself or a plugin or a theme, that will be found here. Let me hop over to the other dashboard. This is the dashboard now of our test website that we're building. If I click on updates, it lets me know right here with this little indicator that we have 3 components that have an update available. Okay, so let's hop back over. That's updates. Next we have posts, and as you can see, if I hover over posts, it will show a little submenu here. If I click on posts, that submenu will then just appear below. So it'll break it out right there, right in the left sidebar. I can add new from the side menu. I can manage my categories and tags, which are used to organize your posts. This comes in handy for a news page or a blog page where you might want to categorize articles based on different ministries or tag them in different ways so that someone coming to your website can see all the posts of a specific ministry or a specific tag. So let me skip over media for a moment and we'll look at pages. Pages is very much similar to posts. One thing you notice different is that pages do not use categories and tags. That is because pages are sort of each standalone. With posts, they can be displayed as a collection. So you might look at all the posts of a certain category or tag, or just all the posts in a blog. Pages work individually, so that's why they are not offered a category or tag option. Okay, so that's pages. Media. Media is where all the media of your website is stored. So if you pull in media such as an image into a post or into a page, it will show up in that page, but ultimately it is stored in the media library. There's a list view as well as a grid view. If you click on an image, it takes you to the image's information. So you can see all the details of this image. There's some additional fields you can fill in here. You can add new media from here either by selecting files from your computer or just dragging it over from a folder. WordPress does support common image types, common audio types, and video types. So that's media. We had pages. Comments. If you have comments enabled on any pages or posts, these comments can be managed off from this one central location. Appearance. Appearance is a big section, and we will be spending a lot of time in here. Appearance has everything to do with, as it sounds, how your website appears. When we click on themes, it will show us all of the themes that are installed on our website. A theme can be installed, but only one theme can be active. So from here, we can add a new theme, either by clicking this plus down at the bottom or by clicking add new at the top. So let's click this. And as soon as we click to add a new theme, we have 2 options. First, we can upload a theme, and this might be a theme we have downloaded from a theme provider from one of their websites, and that will be like just a zip file. So if I click that, we can choose the file from our computer. if we want to search, what we're looking at here is actually the WordPress.org theme repository. So you can search the WordPress theme repository directly from your dashboard without actually leaving. And you can install any of these that you see. And once installed, you can choose to activate it or not. So we're going to skip over Customize for now. Widgets. There's a dedicated widget area where you can compose or put together content that will be in a widget area. Widget areas commonly are found in the sidebars or in the footer of your website. And this acts a lot like the post and page editor in that you can add blocks directly into the footer area. Menus are collections of links, and these commonly are in your header or your footer, but menus can also be used in different ways. The background here is going to take us to the Customize settings, so we're not going to click that right yet. The theme file editor, unless you're an expert or you're a coder, or if you're curious but careful, you can click on the theme file editor and actually look at the code for the active theme or any of the other themes. But again, you can break your site by doing this, so I only recommend it if you know what you're doing there. So let's jump into the Customize settings. So the Customize settings is where you will usually find a lot of the unique settings for your theme, as well as the core WordPress settings that come with WordPress in general. So we'll walk through these quickly. First, let me just point out that we have a menus and a widget section. So this will control the menus and the widgets in the same way that we just saw those dedicated pages for. The difference is you get a visual preview of the changes you're making as you're building it. And then widgets, as you can see here, it's similar interface, but you can see how things will appear when you add them in. Okay, so real quick, site identity. This is our site title and tagline, your logo, your site icon, which is what will appear in the little browser tab. We have some color options here. We have a background image, menus, widgets, homepage settings. Homepage settings is how you determine what will show on your website when it is first loaded up, or what is on your homepage or front page. For most church websites, you always choose the static page option, and then under this dropdown, you can select the published page you want to be displayed as your homepage. Then we have some excerpt settings and additional CSS. CSS is just a type of coding where you can use to style your website. For now, you don't have to worry about that. A few other things about the customizer. Up here, you will see a gear icon. So if you click that, you can actually make changes in all or any of these settings and save as a draft. But in general, I suggest just using the publish so that any changes you make when you click publish, it deploys those changes to your live website. To exit out of the customizer, we just click the X. It's saying any changes you made will be lost. That's okay. All right, so moving on. Plugins. Plugins are very similar to themes in that these are outside elements that you bring into your website. If we're looking here right now, I have 2 plugins installed, Classic Widgets and Gutenberg, but neither one of these are active. So that means they're just sitting here not being used. They're not turned on. You can activate plugins here. You can deactivate. You can delete. If we click on Add New, just like themes, this will connect us to the WordPress.org plugin directory where we can search for plugins and install them directly from our dashboard without having to leave. So for example, we want a gallery plugin. We type in gallery, and it will bring in all of these plugins where we can look at more details. We can install them right away. Or if we have a plugin file that we've already downloaded from another website, we can upload that from here. And similarly to the theme section, you can actually look at the plugin code as well and make changes to that. But again, unless you are comfortable with this, I would not advise making changes as it can break your site. Moving on to users. This is where you can manage all of the people who have access to the website. You can add new users, and there are many different user roles, and each role has its own set of privileges. You can also manage your personal profile from here if you click on Profile. And then if you do have more than one user, if you click on all users, you can see them all listed here, similar to Pages and Posts, with a little database here where you can make changes and you can edit other users as well. Moving on to tools. There are some tools that come with WordPress, namely import and export. WordPress has its own built-in import-export tool, and that is what you would use if you wanted to move your content from one WordPress-based website to another. And finally, we get to the settings. There's kind of a lot to go through in the settings, but we'll just hit some of the highlights. In writing settings, there's a default post category and a default post format. Reading is where you can access those homepage settings in a different spot. So here you can set your homepage. On your blog, you can set how many posts show. Discussion is where you can manage how your comments work. So this is all your comment settings and rules. We have some media presets that you can manage under the media settings. Permalinks in general. This is how WordPress will structure the links in the URLs when you create pages or posts. And then we have a place where you can set up your own privacy page, and there's information there about that. Back to the dashboard, just a few more things. You can collapse the menu with this, and it just shows the icons. They're still accessible, but they get out of the way if you prefer having a smaller profile on your left sidebar. And again, if you need to log out of your dashboard, you can do so from the top right corner here by clicking Log Out. Just across the top here, this W, you can access the WordPress website and documentation support and feedback. Hovering over your website title here will allow you to visit your site. So when you click this, it will load it up in the browser as if you're just a regular person visiting your website. This is just a quick link to your comment management and then a quick link to creating a new post, new media, new page, or a new user. Okay, so that is the WordPress dashboard.